Live from Las Vegas, it's the Richard Kall Show. Nothing but the truth. And now, here's your host, Richard Kall.
Hi everybody, this is Richard Kall. You know, today is Friday, and I want to make sure, Friday I've set aside as my rant day. Going through what's been going on in the world, and here we are at the end of the week. But I want to keep Friday as a positive day. I want everything to be positive. What's going on in the world today, one day it's going to be fixed. I know that in my heart. I don't know how, but one day I know it's going to be fixed and everything is going to be great. When I originally started this, I started this just for MLM and what MLM has done for me. But we're going to get into politics a little bit, and I don't want to upset Democrats and Republicans. We're all the same. Whether we realize it or not, we're all the same. And if there was someone that was in office that we hated, and that person happened to, for whatever reason, save your child's life, all of a sudden you would be with that party. We all know that. What's going on in the world today is really horrible. What's going on in our country is horrible. And I said this was going to be a happy Friday day. But it's going to get better. We have to know it's going to get better. What is my job here? My job here is to help you. I believe the industry that I'm in, and you'll hear me say this over and over and over, is the greatest industry in the world, bar none. And I'll repeat also that you're listening to someone that in this industry has earned six figures a month 35 years ago and continued to do so for many, many, many years. And today I have so many different business interests, and that all came from being in this industry. But I promise you that I will help you understand what this industry is about. I will help you understand what type of a company you should sign with. I will make you understand the things to look for that most people don't, because most people get into this business on pure excitement. And it's great to be excited. I'm the most excitable person. I can't wait to hear what I have to say next. And I mean that. I am a very excited person, but I'm also a realist. And I promise you, you can go to the greatest convention in the world, you can go to the greatest conferences in the world, and I promise you, stick with me, and you'll know a different side of this business and a different side of politics and what's really going on than you've ever known. I have a team of researchers, I have production managers, I have managers over managers. Right now, as I'm talking in this room, there are 7 people in this room, even the makeup girl. I always love to say that. At this stage of my life, at 77 years young, I feel like I've been reborn again. And why do I feel I've been reborn? Because I have a chance to help you. There is no reason. There are so many of those of you that are out there right now that are watching this, that you may be happy, but you may have more on the ball than some of the people that I have taught in this industry that are millionaires today, but you don't know it. Excuse me. Maybe you were brought up like myself. I never in my life got a pat on the back from my father. Never in my life did my father ever say to me, son, you could be anything you want to be. All I ever heard was, don't worry about it. My father happened to be a printer. You'll be a printer. At that time, I think it was $1.10 an hour. We're going back a lot of years. And you'll have Blue Cross and Blue Shield, and more than that, you don't need anything. That's the way I was brought up. That's the way I was brought up. And I'm a storyteller. And I have so many stories that I can tell you. And I'm going to just tell you one. And to me, this is one of the most important stories that I can tell, where a person, when they think that, why didn't I make it in life? Why did so many of my friends make it and I didn't? And are there people in the world that make it without getting a pat on the back from their father and mother, people that grow up in the hood? Of course there are. But I want to give you a story here that brought me down so much. It was probably the most devastating thing in my life. I was 13 years old, or almost 13 years old, and I'm not going to go into a whole big story, but in Little League, I was considered the best of the best. And there isn't anyone, I started in 1952, there wasn't anyone that could have achieved the record that I had. I think I had 8 no-hitters that season. Now, everybody knew it but me, how good I was. So here's the first time I'm entering Yankee Stadium in New York. My father took me and my brother, and I'll never forget walking through the tunnel and seeing the grass. I remember picking some grass up, and we're sitting down the right field line where the pitcher is warming up, and that ball is coming in like this. I mean fast, like I've never seen it. And I remember looking up at my father like this here, and he had his foot on the arm of the chair with his arms crossed like this, smoking a cigarette. He pitched one summer for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he's looking at the pitcher and the catcher and the ball and then popping in that glove. And I looked up at him and I said, Dad, will I ever be able to pitch that fast? And here's what he said to me. It wasn't even something he said. He just looked down at me and went, that was it. Now, that's on a Saturday. Tuesday is the last game of the season, and we had 6 different fields that we played on. And one of the coaches said, when you make the last out on your team, come back to the grandstands because we're going to be picking for the playoffs. You know, the Little League playoffs, Williamsport, Pennsylvania. And to me, today, those kids look as good as the professionals, and much more professional than I did back in the day, because they had TV, they had cable to look at, that they can impersonate these pitches. I mean, these kids were 12 years old, they looked like they were 25, you know? So here's the last out of the game made by somebody in left field, and at that time, I think I was playing right field, or maybe I was playing left field, I don't remember, and I started walking home. And all of a sudden, I hear behind me the coach saying, Kall, where are you going? We said we're picking for the All-Star game. And sheepishly, I walked back, so embarrassed, because I know I wasn't going to be picked, all because my father went like that. And of course, I was the first one picked, and I remember playing against Bridgehampton, and Kall Yastrzemski was on that team way back when. And we won that game 2-0. I pitched a one-hitter. And at 12 years old, I was throwing knuckleballs and curveballs, but just because of that look, I didn't think I was going to be chosen. So I want you all to know that there are a lot of more things that go into making it in life, more than going to the greatest schools, more than even being out on the street and being street smart. There are certain things that you haven't ever thought about that could bring you up to a level where you've never been before. And I'm the person that can help you do that, because all I care about is you. There's never been, and some of you may look at this, and believe me, those of you that look at this, that's corny, you don't know who Richard Kall is, but if you stick around long enough, you'll really know. There is nothing more important to me than helping people. I'm in the business of changing lives. I've changed thousands of lives, and those thousands have changed millions. And I'm not talking hundreds of thousands, I'm talking millions. Is this a get-rich-quick scheme? What I'm talking about? Nothing in life is a get-rich-quick scheme. You have to work. Are there people that are lucky enough to make it without all the schooling and all the pats on the back? Yes, very, very rare. And it's just like in our business. Someone makes it that should have never made it. Should have never made it. That other people will look at that person and say, what are they even doing here? And somehow they make it. Those stories are true. Sometimes they shouldn't even be told because they're so exceptional to the rule. But I'll say it once, and you'll always hear me say it. I'll say this 1,000,000 times. 1,000,000 times. You're at the right place at the right time. Hopefully, it's the right time in your life, you're ready to take action and say, I can't wait till I see his next broadcast, because believe me, they're all going to be interesting. I don't do this for my health. I enjoy doing it. I do it for you. This is Richard Kall. Have a great, great weekend. See you on the next show.